They showed up on my land in the middle of a thunderstorm, cut the power, tried to break into my shed with bolt cutters. Didn't realize they were walking into the crosshairs of a retired attorney general who still kept his badge, his revolver, and his rage. One of them was the HOA president's cousin. The other turned out to be the brother of the lawyer who sued me. And that was their last mistake, was... Now let me back this up a little. Name's Raymond Hale. I'm 68 years old, retired after 35 years as the state's attorney general. After I hung up my suit, I moved out to the family ranch, 78 acres of hard-earned Texas soil passed down from my grandfather. I fixed up the old barn, flew my flags high, and added solar panels and a satellite tower, because why the hell not? It's my land. Everything was peaceful until they built that shiny HOA subdivision a half-mile down the road, place called Silver Glen Meadows. Sounded fancy, didn't it? Their queen bee was Karen Hollowell, short blonde hair, peppermint gum, always in a tracksuit like she was heading to some court she never played on. She hated that my barn was red, said it clashed with their color scheme. I laughed it off. Should have known better. At first it was just snide remarks. "You really should repaint that eyesore," she told me once at the farmer's market. Then came the unsigned letters, warnings about light pollution, unauthorized structures, and threats about fines. Fines from an HOA I didn't even belong to. Then one morning, my front gate was bent like someone rammed it. No cameras, just tire marks. That's when my neighbor Tyler, a young vet who lived next door, showed me a post from their HOA group. "We must protect the image of Silver Glen. That ranch is bringing down our home values. Legal action coming." Legal action came all right. A week later, a woman in red heels showed up at my gate with a lawsuit and a smug smile. "Mr. Hale, you've been served," she said like she was doing me a favor. Her name was Samantha Lorne, HOA legal counsel. Told me I had to tear down my barn, satellite tower, and flagpole within the week, or they'd escalate. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "Ma'am, I'm the one who helped write the land exemption laws you're trying to twist. And this ranch, it's not under your jurisdiction. Always has been. Go tell your little kingdom they just sued the wrong cowboy." Her smirk cracked, just a little. Then she turned on her heel and wobbled back to her black BMW. But I wasn't smiling. Not yet. Because deep down, I had a feeling this wasn't over. And I was right. That week, I reviewed the lawsuit. 3 counts: unauthorized construction, visual pollution, and illegal utility installation. All referenced HOA bylaws that didn't apply to me. I had the documents, the maps, the zoning. Hell, I'd drafted similar exemptions myself back in the day. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a hit job. So I decided to crash their next HOA meeting. I walked into their clubhouse like I was headed to a courtroom. Clean jeans, blazer, badge on a chain. Karen's face went ghost white. "Mr. Hale, this is a private meeting," she tried. "So's my land," I replied. And yet here we are. When they pulled up a PowerPoint with a picture of my barn labeled "Legal Actions Underway," I raised my hand. I'd like to respond. She tried to shut me down, but too many homeowners were curious now. So I stood and said, "This lawsuit, it's nonsense. My land isn't under your control. You're not just wasting time. You're breaking the law. Keep pushing, and I'll counter with harassment charges so fast your tracksuit will spin." A man near the back leaned in, whispered, "Who is he?" I smiled. "Former Attorney General." You could have heard a pin drop. I thought that would scare them off. Instead, it made them desperate. 2 nights later, someone threw a rock through my living room window. Taped to it was a note. Back off. I called the sheriff. Deputy Wade came out, took prints, said the tire tracks matched the ones from the gate incident. I wasn't surprised. They think you're ruining their lifestyle, Wade said. But your land's not even part of their district. Exactly, I muttered. And now they're about to learn where their power ends. I called in favors, judge friends, lawyers, zoning officials, started building my binder. Surveillance cameras went up. Tyler helped me rig motion sensors. We were prepping for war. Then came the environmental complaint, accusing me of polluting local water through my solar panels. I laughed out loud. They were mounted according to code, and I had receipts from a licensed environmental consultant. Still, they forced a hearing. I showed up in my gray suit. Not for them, just a reminder to myself. I laid out documentation, maps, reports. The judge flipped through it, then looked at Samantha and said, "Your complaint is baseless. HOA is advised to cease and desist." Karen turned beet red. Samantha dropped her pen, but they didn't stop. They posted in private HOA chats. "If we can't beat him in court, we'll make his life hell." Tyler showed me the screenshots. I gritted my teeth. They'd just declared open war, so I went nuclear, called an old buddy, Frank Russo, former federal investigator. I laid it all out. He started digging. Within days, Frank found the dirt. HOA funds funneled into a shell consulting firm tied to Samantha's husband. Emails from Karen saying things like, "Handle it off the record," fraud, money laundering, collusion, jackpot. We delivered it all to the district attorney. That same week, the sheriff's deputies served subpoenas to the entire HOA board. Karen got hers while sipping wine by the community pool. I heard she choked. But the fireworks weren't over. One rainy night, my power went out. I looked outside and saw two shadows creeping toward my shed. One had bolt cutters. I stepped outside slowly, flashlight in one hand, revolver on my hip. "Hands where I can see 'em," I called out. One dropped the tools, the other ran. I recognized the one who stayed. Troy Barker, Karen's cousin. HOA maintenance team. "Just looking for shelter," he stammered. "In my locked shed? At midnight during a storm?" I called Deputy Wade. Turns out the other guy was Leonard Lorne, Samantha's brother, and my trail cams caught them both. The DA filed formal charges: trespassing, conspiracy, attempted property sabotage. Troy folded fast, told everything. Karen ordered it. Leonard cut the power. They were planning to plant chemicals to frame me. That was it, the final nail. Karen got arrested, screaming she'd sue the sheriff. Samantha's firm got raided. Her law license suspended. Leonard turned himself in. The HOA collapsed. A few weeks later, I got a letter from a woman named Abigail Moore, single mom from Silver Glen. She wrote, "We paid fines we couldn't afford, lived in fear. You stood up. Now we can breathe again. Thank you." I sat with that letter for a long time. That's when I realized this wasn't just about me. It was about everyone who'd been bullied by people who mistook control for leadership. So I gave every cent of the court settlement, $75 grand, to the local fire department and veterans center, because justice feels heavier when it's shared. A month later, I got a call. Samantha was permanently disbarred. And Frank? He found an internal HOA memo labeled Operation Fence Out, Strategy to Reclaim Non-HOA Land. My ranch was only the first target. They had a list. They were predators. Now the county's launching full audits of every HOA in the region, background checks, fund investigations, abuse reports. One quiet evening, a little boy came to my gate with his mom, gave me a drawing, me in a cowboy hat, lasso in hand, with "Thank you for being brave" written on top. That drawing's pinned to my wall now. right above my old revolver and badge. So tell me this, what would you do if they came for your land next?